Hi, Jeremy Crow here. In this video, I want to give a few tips to anybody who's interested in creating their own tarot deck. Now, there are a few basic motivations that you might have for doing this. One could just be that you want to learn more about the tarot, and in the process of creating a deck, you hope to learn more about it. And that's amazing and super fun because you don't have to worry about anything. You just play, you be creative, you explore, you contemplate. You don't have to worry about whether you own the commercial rights to monetize an image if you're using, say, found images or collages from artwork that other people have created, because you're not monetizing it. You're just playing it. It's about the process in that case. Now, if you are intending on creating a tarot deck that you want to sell, that is something that you absolutely have to nail down. Absolutely. There's no compromises. If you do not own a piece of artwork, do not use it in a deck that you're going to monetize and sell for money and profit from. In fact, even if you're going to be giving it away, unless it's just to like a small handful of friends, like 2 or 3, you could still get in trouble for giving away copies of copyrighted art. That's actually considered a copyright infringement to it's like a form of pirating somebody's copyrighted intellectual property, their artwork. So don't do that if you're going to monetize it. If you're just doing like for the process, like I said, that's not a big deal. But if you're going to be creating physical decks that you're going to be giving out or selling, don't steal anybody's artwork. Create your own artwork from scratch. Utilize public domain images, or commission somebody to create artwork for you that you're going to be allowed to use. That they'll give you a commercial license to use that artwork in your tarot. So that's very important. Now, another motivation that you might have, and this is a situation that I'm in, is that over the years of working with tarot in various ways, studying, doing divinations, doing esoteric, more occult work with the tarot as well, I've developed my own internal deck. And it doesn't conform to the standard that 90% or more of the decks that are out there commercially conform to. So, for example, just so you know a little bit about this, my internal deck, the major arcana, the sequence of cards is different. I don't have the same order of the cards. They're numbered differently in my own personal deck. I've renamed some of the cards as well, and to be more reflective of how I view that card. To call it something a little more accurate to my own understanding. Or preference as well, to my own preferences. And I've also added a few cards, believe it or not. So my own internalized deck is actually 81 cards, and the standard deck out there is 78. So it just doesn't exist. What my internal deck is doesn't exist in the physical. So I'd like to manifest that and have a physical version of my own internal deck. That would be amazing. And I don't know, maybe other people might be interested in it. Would you be interested in buying one of my decks if I actually produced it? I don't know. Am I going to just do it for myself? Let me know, because maybe I will, if I get enough interest, maybe I will, when I do have it finished, maybe I will make it commercially available. But beyond that, just so you're aware, like, in the meantime, what I'm doing is I'll take a deck that I really enjoy the artwork on, just from a purely aesthetic perspective, and I'll use that deck as my own, as a physical proxy for my own internal deck. So let's say the Hangman comes up. Well, I don't really care the specifics of the details on the image of that card, because I'm referencing my own internal card, my own internal excuse me, my own internal Hangman card when I'm doing that. So the other final piece of information that I'd really like you to absorb if you're going to create your own internal deck is to really know the core symbol behind each of those cards. And now there is a tradition. There is an actual association, a canon association with each of these cards that a lot of people don't really know. And it kind of blows my mind that somebody could be studying, working with tarot for decades and still not really understand this. So let me break it down a little bit for you here. The major arcana in particular, because the minor arcana, it's very simple and it's hard to screw up. But the major arcana, you've got these 3 sections that can be broken up into, actually. So you've got the sublunary ones, the elemental realm. You've got 3 cards. You've got air, water, fire. Those are the 3 elements in the major arcana. And you've got the Fool is air. You've got the Hanged Man is water. And you've got Judgment, which is fire. Now you've got 7 major arcana cards that are planets. And this can get a little confusing with the moon thing, but let's ignore that for now. The sun card is the sun. The tower card, the core symbol behind that is the planet Mars. Behind the world, or the world card, behind that card, the core symbol is Saturn, the planet Saturn. There's different ones. And then there's the zodiacal. So there's 12 major arcana cards that are related to zodiacal symbols. So you've got, like, say, for example, the Chariot card is Cancer. The Devil card is Capricorn. The Temperance, or Crowley calls it Art, that card is Sagittarius. And there are specific ones. Each one actually is that. It's not just interpretation. You might disagree, but there is a standard for that. And you should understand what that standard is and then decide if you want to deviate from it or not. But that is one of the most important things, in my personal opinion, to understand when you are building your own tarot deck, is what those core symbols are before you start. If you aren't familiar with what those are, actually, you can go to my website, jeremycrow.com, and then click the tarot link at the very top, or you can just go to jeremycrow.com/arcana.html, and that's where it is. But you can just go to jeremycrow.com and click the tarot link at the very top, and that breaks it down and says what each of the major arcana cards are in terms of the element, the planet, or the zodiac symbol behind each of those. And then you can go from there. That's kind of a launching point. That's kind of like the foundation that you should understand. And then you can launch from there and do any deviations if you want. Or do your own interpretation, elaboration. You do your own elaboration from that foundation. And that is super important, at least in my opinion. Now, I do videos on tarot a lot, and other esoteric subjects. So if you're interested in this subject, check out my channel. I've got a bunch of videos on it already. And subscribe to the channel too, so you'll get notified when I put out a new one. And I put out new ones fairly often. So until next time, everybody, stay lucid.